units. Well, we want to now talk about luxury air travel. And we have with us Nicole Hanker, who is the General Manager for Last Minute Mara. Such an honor to have you in studio today.
Thank you for having me.
And Nicole, let's just begin by looking at luxury travel in Kenya. Has it been an area that has been having a huge, should I say, number of investors in, or you are partly trying to get into a new territory?
Well, luxury travel has definitely been on the rise. We've seen, obviously, if we look at Nairobi, for example, we see the development of a lot of new hotels. But for luxury travel in the Mara specifically, obviously this is something that has been available for many, many years. But what we are trying to do with Last Minute Mara is to make these luxury camps more accessible for the Kenyan market.
All right. Speaking about what you do, how is the uptake so far? And of course, what's the return on investment?
Well, we have, the platform was launched, so lastminutemara.com, which is a new booking platform that we have recently launched, which allows Kenyans, as well as international travelers coming into Kenya, to book last-minute luxury travel deals to the Mara. So we've seen that for the longest time, a lot of people have wanted to be able to access a lot of these places, but haven't been able to do so. So we figured we would find a way in which we could do this simply by understanding the business model which is in place at the moment. And the business model at the moment is that a lot of these camps are dependent on foreign travelers and are dependent on them booking long time in advance. So what we saw was that there was a gap in the market, so to speak, because obviously a lot of these camps remain sort of lower level occupancy outside of the migration season. So we figured let's make this accessible to a larger group of people by making it more accessible in terms of offering better rates and better value for money.
Speaking about better value for money, how is the performance so far?
The performance is good. We offer on our platform, we offer savings of between 40 to 70%. So people who were previously not able to travel to the Mara are now able to look at this and see an opportunity for them. We noticed that very few Kenyans have actually been able to travel to the Masai Mara, though it is the leading park in the world, most likely. So we figured, why not make it more accessible to the local market and to Kenyans. And
looking at the number of bookings you get, if you had to give us the numbers, of course, when are the most high-rated seasons?
Well, in the Mara, obviously now, as the migration is currently ongoing, and it's obviously considered one of the seventh wonders of the world, which means that if you look at the Masai Mara at the moment, there are obviously very, very few empty beds. But the Mara is an amazing place to go and see all year round. So obviously, since we only allow people to book within a 30-day window, August has not been very positive for us in the sense that most of the camps with which we are working with were already fully booked based on the business model in which they're already based, which requires long-term bookings. But we were able to finally close our first booking this weekend for September, just because, I mean, I think a lot of people forget that the Mara is an amazing place to visit when it's less crowded as well. I mean, there's so much game, so things are on the rise.
And finally, of course, Nicole, what sort of government support might you be anticipating now that you're seeing a number of airlines are targeting the Mara? This, of course, does include the low-cost carriers. Silverstone is eyeing the Mara. We've seen a number of Air Kenya is already taking up that route. And are we likely to see more airlines getting on board? And how will this impact for the consumers at the end of the day?
Well, I certainly think that, well, as you said, Silverstone is entering the market. They're currently already doing group bookings. But it's as we see an emerging middle class who obviously have more purchasing power, the problem was airlines like Air Kenya and Safarilink, who have dominated the market for many, many years, they are obviously more pricey because they obviously offer a sort of a more high-end service. So with the lower-end carriers, this again makes it more accessible for less sort of high-worth people, if we can put it that way, to now make it to the Mara, and way quicker because the roads are obviously not always, you know, super accessible.
All right.
So yes, I believe that there will be more and more airlines coming through, and that's a very positive thing.
All right. And of course, that's where our last minute comes in.
Yes.
Thank you so much for your time, Nicole.
Thank you so much.
Wishing you all the very best. Well, that brings us to the end of our show this afternoon, and we want to recap our Twitter poll question. Today we're asking you, do you think the entry of more African airlines will cut down the cost of air travel in the continent? Well, a host of viewers have already said that we are seeing airlines that have enjoyed years of unchallenged competition. We want more airlines to come in so that the rates can go down. And of course, a lot of feedback still streaming